All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're always trying to dig a little deeper here, and today we're going to be tackling something that I think a lot of people can relate to. Happiness. It's this thing that, everybody talks about, everybody's searching for it, and we're going to be looking at a viral Twitter thread. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you heard that right. A Twitter thread. That's gone viral about happiness, and it actually argues that we've been going about this whole happiness thing all wrong. It suggests that maybe modern psychology is actually steering us in the wrong direction. And there's some ancient wisdom that we've kind of forgotten, and this thread is sort of rediscovering it. And it's like, whoa, maybe this is the key to like a truly fulfilling life.
Well, and it's not just some random person on Twitter, right? The guy who wrote this, Theodoric Chu, he spent over 10 years studying happiness. So it's not like, just some off-the-cuff opinion.
Right. Yeah, it's not just like, I had a good day, I'm going to tweet about happiness.
Right.
So, all right, let's jump into this thread, this idea.
Yeah.
Chu's main argument is that we're chasing the wrong kind of happiness.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're always told in go find happiness, find your bliss, all this kind of stuff. But he's saying that modern psychology is really focused on what the ancient Greeks called hedonia, which is basically pleasure, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, think of it like that sugar rush you get when you eat a donut.
Right.
It's amazing for a little bit, and then you crash.
Yeah.
You want another one.
Exactly.
So Chu is saying the ancient Greeks, they talked about a totally different kind of happiness, eudaimonia. Mm-hmm. And this is less about feeling good in the moment and more about being good, living a life of meaning and purpose.
Right. So it's not just about your subjective experience of, I feel happy right now. It's more about are you living in accordance with your values? Are you striving towards something meaningful?
Okay, so you're saying all this self-help stuff we hear about, positive thinking, achieving your goals. It might actually be leading us away from real happiness.
It really challenges a lot of the assumptions, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of unsettling, but it's also makes you think.
It does. It does.
So what does Chu say? What's the alternative?
Well, he actually draws a parallel with, drug addiction. He says this constant pursuit of pleasure, it can actually lead to a cycle of highs and crashes. Just like with a drug, the more you chase it, the more you need it, and you're never truly satisfied.
Right, you build up a tolerance.
Exactly.
So how do we break free from this cycle? Where do we even begin?
Well, Chu suggests we look back to the Stoics.
Stoics.
Yeah, those ancient Greek philosophers. They had a very different perspective on happiness.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, they believed that happiness wasn't about controlling external things, things that are outside of our control, which, let's face it, is a lot of things.
Yeah, pretty much everything, right?
Right, but it's about mastering our own minds, choosing how we respond to what life throws at us.
Okay, I get that in theory. But how does that actually translate to, feeling happy? It seems kind of counterintuitive.
Well, think about it this way. If your happiness depends on things you can't control, like the weather, or other people's actions, or even just luck, you're constantly going to be disappointed. You're always going to feel like something is missing.
Right. You're never going to be good enough.
Exactly.
Oh, and you're going to blame other people for your unhappiness.
Right, or feel powerless to change your situation.
So what are we supposed to do then? Just give up?
No, not at all. The Stoics would say, focus on what you can control. Your thoughts, your actions, your reactions.
Okay, so instead of trying to bend the world to my will, I should focus on cultivating my inner world.
Exactly, yeah.
It's instead of chasing butterflies, I'm creating a garden that attracts them.
I love that analogy. It really captures the essence of what the Stoics were talking about.
So it's not about forcing things to happen, but creating the conditions for happiness to kind of flourish.
Exactly.
Wow, this is really making me rethink my priorities.
It's powerful stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely fall into that trap of chasing, quick hits of dopamine. But you know what else Chu talks about that's really interesting? He talks about our connection to others. And he says that modern psychology often frames happiness as this individualistic pursuit. But that's not really how we're wired. Right?
Yeah, think about it. We are social creatures.
Right.
We're meant to connect, to belong, to contribute to something bigger than ourselves.
And when you think about the times you've felt truly happy, fulfilled, were they times when you were alone, indulging yourself, or were there times when you felt connected to something bigger than yourself?
Yeah, think about those times you felt most alive, most engaged. Was it because of some fleeting pleasure? Or was it because you were part of something meaningful, something that transcended your individual experience?
That's a good question. Now that you mention it, Those times I felt really joyful usually did involve helping someone else or working together towards some kind of common goal.
Right, exactly.
Like I remember that time we all pitched in to organize the neighborhood cleanup. Sure, it was work. But afterwards, there was this feeling of like camaraderie and accomplishment.
Yeah.
It wasn't about pleasure exactly, but it was deeply satisfying.
That's a perfect example of what she's talking about. And what's really fascinating is that modern research is starting to confirm what the ancients knew all along. Meaning and purpose are stronger predictors of well-being than just chasing pleasure.
Huh. So it's like we're rediscovering these ancient truths. Okay, so how do we actually put all this into practice? What are the concrete steps that Chu suggests for cultivating this deeper, more fulfilling kind of happiness?
Yeah, let's dive into that. So Chu's first step is contributing to something bigger than yourself.
Okay.
And that could be like volunteering, supporting a cause, even just being a good friend, neighbor, family member. The key is to use your talents, your passions, to make a positive impact.
So it's not just about self-improvement, but looking outward.
Exactly.
Connecting with, contributing to something larger than ourselves.
Yeah, eudaimonia, it's not a solitary pursuit. It's recognizing we're interconnected, finding ways to contribute to others.
Makes sense.
And the second thing Chu emphasizes is character development.
Character development.
Yeah, cultivating virtues.
Like what?
Like wisdom, courage, justice, temperance.
Okay, those sound a bit intense, maybe.
Yeah, they're kind of lofty ideals, right? But I think they still apply today.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Who wouldn't want to be known for being wise, courageous, fair, having self-control?
These virtues, they're not just abstract concepts. They affect how we interact with others, how we face challenges, how we make decisions.
Like everyday courage.
Exactly.
Speaking up when you see injustice.
Or the wisdom to listen instead of just reacting.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So it's about becoming the best version of ourselves.
Yeah, and it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about constantly learning, growing.
Okay, I like that.
And the next thing Chu mentions is something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
Building meaningful relationships.
Yeah.
It seems obvious, but in our digital world, it's easy to forget about real face-to-face connections.
Right, you can get so caught up in like social media. You feel connected online, but then you realize you haven't had a real conversation in days.
Exactly. And Chu reminds us that real happiness, it's not in isolation. It's in those bonds with people who matter.
And it's not just about quantity, right?
No, it's the quality of those relationships.
Having people you can be yourself with.
Yes. People who support you, challenge you, make you feel seen.
Absolutely.
And finally, Chu reminds us to accept what we can't control.
Right, that Stoic idea again.
Exactly. Recognizing we can't control everything that happens.
Which is most things, let's be honest.
Right, but we can control how we respond.
But that's got to be easier said than done.
Oh, for sure.
It's so easy to get caught up in resisting reality.
Yeah, trying to force things to be different.
And that just leads to more suffering.
Exactly, but when we learn to accept what is, let go of that need to control everything.
We can let go of some of that stress and anxiety.
Yeah, it's not about suppressing emotions, pretending everything's perfect.
Right.
It's acknowledging that life has both joy and sorrow, ease and difficulty.
Ups and downs.
Exactly, and our strength is in navigating them with grace and resilience.
So it's about finding that balance between acceptance and action.
I like that.
We can't control the waves, but we can learn to surf.
Beautiful analogy.
So to recap, choose 4 pillars for a fulfilling life. Contribute to something bigger, focus on character, build relationships, and accept what you can't control.
You got it.
Sounds simple, but I'm sure it's not easy.
It does require a shift in perspective, moving beyond instant gratification, external validation.
Right, which our culture is constantly pushing on us.
Yeah, but the rewards are worth it.
It's about investing in what truly matters, meaning purpose, connection.
Exactly.
And it's striking that none of these steps involve buying something or achieving some external goal. It's all about internal shifts.
Yeah, how we see the world, how we act within it. It's accessible to everyone.
I like that.
Regardless of their circumstances.
So going back to why modern happiness methods are failing.
Right.
Chu's answer made sense.
It does.
We're looking in the wrong places.
We're trying to find happiness through quick fixes, external stuff.
When really it comes from within.
Through our actions, connections, commitment to something bigger.
It's about becoming. not acquiring.
Exactly.
A journey, not a destination. This deep dive has given me a lot to think about.
Me too. It's a good reminder that ancient wisdom is still relevant.
Yeah.
So to wrap up, I'll leave you with a question.
Okay.
What's one small step you can take today to align your life with eudaimonia?
With that deeper happiness.
Yeah, that fulfilling kind of happiness.
I mean, it could be something simple, right?
Yeah.
Like calling a friend you haven't talked to in a while.
Yeah.
Or taking some time to reflect.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just, like, doing something nice for someone.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be this huge thing.
Small steps, consistent action.
You know, this whole idea of focusing on character development,
Yeah.
that really stuck with me.
Yeah.
It's like, instead of just trying to achieve things out there in the world, we're also working on ourselves, becoming better people.
Yeah. Cultivating those inner qualities that help us through the tough times with more grace, more wisdom.
Right. And as we grow,
Yeah.
we naturally contribute more to the world.
It's a beautiful cycle.
It really is. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. This deep dive into the surprising truth about happiness.
We did.
We talked about hedonia versus eudaimonia.
Yeah.
That Stoic idea of accepting what we can't control and the importance of contributing to something bigger than ourselves and developing our character.
It's been a fascinating conversation.
It really has.
And I think it all boils down to this. True happiness, that lasting kind, it's not something you find, it's something you become.
And that journey starts with us
Absolutely.
taking responsibility for our own happiness.
It's not about waiting for things to change.
Right, or for someone else to make us happy.
Yeah, it's about making the choice to cultivate those inner qualities.
Those habits that lead to a meaningful life.
Aligning our actions with our values.
Building those strong connections.
Contributing to something beyond ourselves.
And approaching challenges with acceptance and resilience.
Knowing that even in difficulty, there's opportunity for growth.
You've given us so much to think about today. I really hope our listeners will walk away from this feeling inspired to take action, to embrace this ancient wisdom.
Me too.
And to start cultivating their own version of eudaimonia.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Right.
Be patient. Celebrate the small wins.
And never stop learning and growing.
Exactly.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed exploring this topic with us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep seeking that deeper happiness.